Thank you, Kai, for joining us on our group called Holistic Approach to Hair. And thank you for allowing me to ask you some questions and to get to know who you are, what you're about, and what is your take on the holistic approach to hair. So I want to first ask and share with the audience who will be listening to this, who are you?
Thank you for having me. My name is Kai Smith, as you stated, and I've been in the beauty industry for over 25 years. I started out as a cosmetologist who then started having problems with my clients' hair, and I didn't really have answers nor solutions to those problems. And I was really unclear as to why they were happening. Those problems happened to be hair loss, and I was seeing different clients that were having different types of hair loss. And the one thing I knew for sure was that I wasn't doing anything different than what I'd always done, but their hair started showing up different to the chair. And I didn't know how to answer those questions. So that prompted me to seek out trichology. After a long battle back and forth with my clients going to the dermatologist, because that is where I was directing them to. And they were coming back still with unanswered questions, but with prescriptions in hand, nothing, was changing. I had to start looking at myself because they were looking at me. They were looking at me as the expert. They were looking at me as being the person that could solve all of their hair woes. But their problems had started outgrowing my knowledge, and it made me feel bad. It actually made me feel embarrassed and ashamed that I was marketing myself as this hair professional that, could grow healthy hair. But when my clients were experiencing hair loss, I didn't have any answers. So I was kind of embarrassed. And I decided that I was going to go seek out trichology. In that journey, I learned so much about trichology. I've been doing it for over a decade now. I help women uncover the unknown factors about their hair loss in my hair loss clinic in Los Angeles, California. I also help them virtually. I've worked with women in Australia, women in Africa, work with women across the globe doing this, and it brings me so much joy, not because I'm helping them with their hair, but mostly because I'm helping them with their health. And that ends up helping them with their hair. I also help my peers, other hairstylists, identify hair loss behind the chair. And and I am the creator and founder of the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases, where I certify hairstylists to become trichologists. So I do a lot. I'm an author. Um, I have a few books, and I still work behind the chair as a hairstylist. I have many hats, but they all are under the umbrella of the beauty industry. So, very, very excited and passionate about what I do still, because I get to help so many women, and I get to help my peers level up. But the one thing that I love about helping women specifically is because I had hair loss once upon a time, and I didn't have anyone to help me. And I did the same thing I had my clients do, which was seek out a dermatologist. And when I took that route, they did everything that they could topically, and they were giving me injections into my scalp. Hair was growing back, but it was coming out in other areas.
Mhm.
And that prompted me to say, something's not right, because if they're treating me, but my hair is still coming out in other areas, that means that the treatment is ineffective because it's still happening in other areas. And they couldn't give me any answers. And that is what sparked my journey to holistic healing, because I knew that Western medicine, or allopathic medicine, if you call it, that was not just the answer for what I was going through. So if it wasn't working for me, how many other women was this happening to? And their questions were falling on deaf ears, and they were not getting the results that they deserved, and they weren't healing in their body. So that took me on a journey to trying to heal myself, because at the root of my hair loss ended up being autoimmune issues. The dermatologist nor the doctor told me that I had to go on a wild goose chase and figure that out on my own. And that is how I started really specializing in helping women in my hair loss clinic. and I developed my strategy known as Uncover, Treat, Restore, so that we can really get to the source of what's happening to them. And I do that from a holistic perspective. Although I don't rule out Western medicine, because at some point, sometimes that's necessary for some people. We take a holistic approach to their healing, and I've been very successful with helping myself as well as other women.
But thank you for sharing. That's really good, and I like the passion you have behind it, and really going deeper and not just accepting whatever the doctors or whatever out there, but really pushing and really discovering it for yourself. So tell us a little bit about what approach you took when it came to thinning, what holistic approach you took when it came to that.
Well, what I had to do, because I always like to say, we really, before I really became, I always say, trichologically inclined, I always thought it was a one size fits all type of deal. Like, you have hair loss. That's just what when we went to cosmetology school, we didn't learn trichology. We learned how to style the hair. We didn't know about trichology. And so before being introduced to it and really understanding the science of what's going on behind the hair loss, I thought that.
Yes, you could. Mm-hmm.
And so before I really learned about trichology, I thought that it was just a one size fits all, get a shampoo, get an ointment. I didn't know that it involved so much. The one thing that I really didn't understand is that it involved health, because our hair is going to follow the health of the body. And so each woman is different. So for me, what I had to do was I had to look at healing my immune system, because my immune system was at the root of why I was experiencing hair loss. And so that wasn't a quick fix. I had to shift in my lifestyle. So there were a whole lot of things that I had to do to build up on healing my immune system so that it would stop being so hyperactive and stop attacking my hair cells, because I had alopecia areata, and it was a direct reflection of what was happening with my immune system. And my immune system was going awry. But there were so many factors involved with that over the years of just eating what I wanted to eat, not taking care of, myself, working behind the chair, not getting enough rest. There are a whole lot of factors that I had to look at and I had to change when I started looking to heal, because it no longer became healing my hair. It became healing my body. And in order to do that, I didn't want to take the allopathic approach, because to heal the immune system, they want to suppress the immune system, because the immune system is hyperactive. And so they want to give you immunosuppressants to come in and suppress the immune system to calm down the activity, but that stops your immune system. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute, we can't do that. I work with the public. I need my immune system. I need to be able to fight off things. So I began researching holistic methods of rebooting the immune system and how that needed to happen. And everything entailed going in, changing up my eating habits. I started off with a fast, a juice fast, a raw food fast, where I started rebooting my digestive system so that I could get that nourishment from those foods that were raw.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that for some time, and I was able to reboot my immune system. By the time I went, I did get an appointment to go and see the rheumatologist, because that's who they have you see when you start having immune issues. By the time I went to go and I got that appointment, they couldn't find anything when they tested me, because I had started healing from a holistic perspective. But I refused to take any kind of medication. They had never prescribed me anything, because I had just gone through my primary care physician to get some testing done, because after researching certain things, I figured out what tests needed to be done. So after having those tests done, those tests came back, and it prompted her to send me to a referral to the rheumatologist. At that time, it was taking like 60 days to get that actual appointment. And by the time, I didn't wait, I started researching because I already knew that I was not going to do what they wanted me to do. I knew what that was because I researched it. And I'm like, I'm not taking any medications. I'm not being a slave to a medication. I know too many clients who have autoimmune diseases, and I see what's happening to them, and I don't want to be like that. And so I made a decision in my mind that that was not going to be me, and I was going to do what I needed to do, and I did it. I did it. And as long as I keep within that lifestyle, I don't have any problems with anything. It's when I come off of eating the way I'm supposed to eat is when I can feel my body shifting. So it's a lifestyle. There's no quick fix to hair loss. When a trichologist comes in and they assess you and they give you their professional opinion, and you're looking to heal from a holistic perspective, and you don't want to be a slave to a medication or a certain process, then you're going to have to adhere to a certain kind of lifestyle, because you will not be able to heal if you don't. If your hair loss is not due to self-infliction, like mechanical damage, over manipulation, chemical processing, and things like that, those are all self-inflicted. Those are all external. But when the most of the women, they're experiencing hair loss due to internal issues, and they're conditioned to thinking that they can just take an oil or a potion or a shampoo, and that they can heal themselves without actually looking from the inside. And that is the biggest myth of them all when it comes to healing from hair loss. And so when you're seeking to heal and you're looking for a trichologist to support you in those endeavors, then you're going to have to trust the process, and there's going to be a shift that comes from the tip of your fork. And if you're not ready to do it, then you're not going to be able to heal from the hair loss, because there's a metabolic shift that needs to take place within the body, because what we put inside has to come out.
Thank you so much for sharing. That was really, really helpful. And that is true. There is no quick fix to it. And I always often say, if you're looking to grow hair, it doesn't start on the outside, it starts from the inside.
Mm-hmm,
So if you want to grow hair, focus on the inside. you know
mm-hmm.
we all know that, but really sometimes some of us want a quick fix and choose to ignore the reality of what's necessary to do what needs to be done to grow your hair. Thank you.
It's like horticulture. When
Hmm.
we're thinking about horticulture and you look at growing a plant, you planted a seed, and the seed does not mature into the tree or the plant that you want it to, or that you thought it was going to, because the leaves are brown or the fruit is not coming out the way that it's supposed to. The only way for them to fix that is going and looking into the soil, measuring the soil to see what's happening with the soil and why it's not producing the fruit that it's supposed to. You don't go and paint the leaves green and put something on the top of the leaves, or paint the fruit to make the fruit look like it's supposed to look. You have to dig within. You have to go into the soil and see what's wrong with the soil. You measure it with an instrument to see where the deficit is, where the missing link is. And that's the same thing that we have to do with our bodies. We don't paint the leaves green by trying to sprinkle something on our scalp or pour something on our scalp. When the hair fibers are not growing out, or they're growing out weaker, we have to look at the soil. And the soil is fed by what we put on the tip of our fork. We
Hmm.
have to we have to shift that.
That is so important too. And having somebody like you who's experienced, who's done the work and did the research, it is helpful to have someone like you to guide someone who's looking to grow their hair also. So how can they reach back if they looking to grow their hair, or if they're looking to get more information or more knowledge in helping the client or helping someone else? How can they reach you?
They can always go. I can be found on Facebook at I am Kai Smith. I can also be found on Instagram at I'm sorry, at Kai Smith Trichologist, Kai Smith Trichologist on Instagram. And I can also be emailed at justaskkai at gmail.com. That's justaskkai at gmail.com. If they are a professional, a hair care professional, then they can also go to AHSD, I'm sorry, AAHSD, that's the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases, aahsd.com, and they can get a partial syllabus, and it will give them the foundation of what I teach in my trichology training if they are a hairstylist who's seeking the next level in trichology, just to see if that is something that they're interested in doing. And as far as clients who are looking to grow their hair, or maybe not just looking to grow their hair, but they know that they have some type of situation that's keeping them from recovering, and they're trying to get to the root of that, I can be reached at yourhairlossadvocate.com, yourhairlossadvocate.com. There you will be able to select a complimentary 15-minute discovery session with me. And during that time, I will ask you a series of questions just to see if you're a candidate for my recovery system, and to learn just a little bit more about you. And hopefully I'll be able to support you from there. And then we can get to the nitty gritty, and I can help you build a customized protocol for your situation so that you can recover from hair loss.
Well, thank you for sharing that information with the group, and I'm very thankful for that.
You're so welcome.
Bye, everyone.